We're rolling.
Sure. So my name is Michael Swanberg, and my double take actually happened in Burkina Faso. So I brought some props. Here's a copy of National Geographic magazine, and National Geographic magazine actually ruined my life. So here we go. And I'll go ahead and read this in the interest of time. So my introduction to education as a career path came in Francophone West Africa, where I was serving as a Peace Corps volunteer. Because I was a registered nurse and fluent in French, I was assigned to Burkina Faso, and my project was to organize a clinic. Burkina Faso is distinguished only by its ranking as having the lowest literacy rate in the world. Only 4% of the women and 11% of the men can read and write. Sub-Saharan Africa is one of the few places where literacy is actually declining every year. This is due to the AIDS epidemic spreading among the educated professionals, causing many schools to close for lack of teachers. What immediately became apparent in Burkina Faso is that it's almost impossible to teach disease prevention when the population thinks that maladies are caused by evil spirits being blown into their ears. In my village, 30% of the children died before their 5th birthday. My challenge, when you don't know you have a heart or a circulatory system, how do you comprehend malaria prevention or the spread of AIDS? So my solution was to start a school. Girls' education became the focus of my attention in the village. I observed that women in Burkina Faso made all the healthcare decisions and most of the economic decisions for the family. Educate a man, you teach one person. Educate a woman, and you educate the entire family, was the phrase that I had often heard. But I was now able to see it ring true. There's so much documentation that providing girls with even a 3rd grade education is the most effective way to lower the infant mortality rate and raise the standard of living for any country. So Miriam was my first pupil. When a person is sent to a clinic in Burkina Faso, a family member accompanies the patient in order to cook, bathe, and care for them while they're ill. Miriam's family was from a nomad tribe, following their small herd of starving-looking cows through the desert, searching for water and clumps of vegetation on which to graze. Miriam's father seriously injured his leg while near our village, and 10-year-old Miriam brought him to the clinic and lived with him during his 9-month convalescence. Each day I would watch as Miriam gathered sticks in the arid African bush and later see the purple smoke from the cooking fire drift up into the vast star-filled night as Miriam tended the cooking pots. What are the thoughts of a young African girl as she watches the dry, dusty wind blow from the Sahara? At this moment, the idea of starting a school entered my mind. As there are 27 indigenous local languages, France has become the national language for diplomacy and commerce. Most of the indigenous languages are only spoken and not written language, so I decided the best solution was to teach French. Every day when I left the clinic, Miriam and I would practice a new letter of the alphabet. When the men in the village would pass by my mud hut and see me working with Miriam, they would point at her and ask, "Why are you wasting your time? She is not only a girl, but she's from a nomadic tribe. She's not capable of learning anything." The misogynistic and racist words would sting me. And I was determined that Miriam would learn to read. The day came when Miriam wrote her name for the first time. Nothing in my life had prepared me for the fire that was lit in her eyes that day, a light that I knew would never be extinguished. Even now, you can see the emotion when I think of the thrill of Miriam tracing the letters of her name in the sand. It was in that moment that I knew I wanted to be a teacher.